The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions, and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
You feel that? Ah, shit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Armed Radio Global. We are Sports Insider. My name is Glenn Spillman, and for those of you viewing us, to my left is Shawn Allen.
What's up, everybody? Happy Hump Day. Everybody's having a great Wednesday.
Yeah, I would like to welcome all of our Boston fans who are listening, everyone around the United States that's listening to us on Armed Radio Global out of Boston, Massachusetts. Just joining us, watching us, we welcome MMA fighter Tiffany Kanema. Tiffany, welcome.
Tiffany?
We want to welcome everybody watching us on all of the cameras here. Rick Whitty, you're always on time. Rick Whitty, if my memory serves me correctly, lives in New England and is a huge Boston fan. So we will be talking plenty Boston sports tonight. Also, I want to let everybody know that every Wednesday and every Friday at 6 o'clock Pacific time, and it's going to be 9 o'clock Eastern time, we are on Armed Radio Global. Also, you can check out their TuneIn app. Shawn, go ahead and tell them how they can do that.
You go and, on either your Apple store or your Android store and Google Play and download the TuneIn app. You go to Armed Radio Global, tune in at 6 o'clock or Pacific or 9 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesdays and Fridays. And there you are. You're still connected to us.
All right. So everybody also to the go to our website, sportsinsideronline.com, and you can follow us on any social media. All of our stuff is up there, plus some of the archive shows and whatnot. If you want to email us your questions, you could email us at sportsinsideronline@gmail.com. I was talking to a gentleman today, and his name is Steve, and he was he was telling me a joke. He goes, "Hey, you wanna use a joke on your show?" And I said, "Absolutely." So he goes, "How many 49ers does it take to change a tire?" So I thought about it for about 3 seconds, and I'm like, well, I don't know. This is kind of maybe a Pollock joke. I'm like, I don't know, 5, 1 for each lug nut. He goes, "No, it takes 1 to change a tire, but if it's a blowout, it takes the whole team. The whole team will show up." So I hope I told that right, Steve. And I also want to, I forget the guy's name. I met him last night. He's a Green Bay Packer fan. Rodney Ingerson, welcome to the show. He's a Green Bay Packer fan, and I give him a ride to the Amtrak station. So we talked football the whole time. So it was quite interesting, some of the stories that he has. And he said that he'd be listening tonight. So, brother, if you're listening, welcome to the show. So everyone, here we go, right here. Listen very carefully. That right there is beer time, folks. And I'm sure all you Boston people, you guys like your beer. I know you do. Rick Whitty from Boston says Boomer Sooner because I am wearing my Oklahoma Sooner t-shirt. So let's kind of get into it a little bit. I told you guys, especially all of our Boston listeners, if you, we will talk more Boston sports on Wednesdays and Fridays because I really appreciate you guys tuning in and listening. And we are, in fact, streaming live from Boston. Interesting. The story's been in the news a little bit, but it's been talked about a lot more the past couple of days. First off, let me ask you, Shawn, in baseball, what do you think the welcome PAIS 22 first time on Periscope What do you think in baseball is the biggest rivalry? Period. What do you think?
The biggest rivalry, off the top of
in
my
your
head,
mind,
I would
yes.
say Yankees, Red Sox. Yeah, I mean, just right off the top of my head, that pops up there as far as one of the biggest rivalries.
All right. Welcome, Steve Martinez, to the show. Say the Yankees Dodgers as well. When I say Dodgers, it's with the Brooklyn Dodgers. Rodney Ingerson says Brooklyn Dodgers, and that was a storied, huge rivalry because a lot of times they would meet each other in the big game of the year, and that was hated. Back then, they fought. They allowed a lot more fighting back then, which was exciting. Now, here's a nugget for everybody. Do you know, Shawn, and if anyone knows this, if this PAIS, if you're watching from Russia, let us know because looks like you are. What do you think? Why do you think they call them the Brooklyn Dodgers?
Brooklyn Dodgers?
Yeah, why do you think they call them the Dodgers? Forget Brooklyn because they were in Brooklyn at the time. Why do they call them the Dodgers?
I don't know.
Okay. I love this story. Well, back in the day, when they had all the Model A's and Model T's and everything, and the streets were dirt, so people would be there. There's no stop signs. There's no crosswalks. There's no, okay, everybody, hold on, please. Everyone's going through the crosswalk. Screw that. They don't even do that now in freaking New York. But they called them the Brooklyn Dodgers because they were dodging the cars every time they crossed the street. So,
okay.
Well, Rick Whitty, just give us some news for everyone that was watching the Carrie Fisher thing. She died yesterday. Well, her mother was Debbie Reynolds. She was in the hospital. And Rick Whitty from New England just told us that Debbie Reynolds died.
Oh, wow.
So, rest in peace, Debbie Reynolds. And I actually saw her in Vegas in 1996 when I was there.
There was a story on Facebook or something along the lines of there was an actor who passed away some years ago, and his mom died. Him and his mom both died on the same day.
I wouldn't. That's not surprising.
I was like,
all right, so the reason why I asked Shawn that question because it segues into a subject matter. We're going to start off with Major League Baseball tonight.
Right.
Major League Baseball, the Yankees and the Red Sox, which is a very big rivalry. One of the main reasons is the Babe Ruth trade. They're going to be possibly playing in London in 2018. Well, well, to be honest, now I wrote an article. If you go to sportsinsideronline.com, you will see the article that I wrote last night. Yeah, whoa, welcome to the show. It's about this. And especially this year, the NFL took advantage of going to London. The WWE has been doing it for years.
The WWE has been doing it longer, but the football has been doing it for the last, 5, 6, 7 years. They've been doing it more and more.
Right, but what the NFL has been getting huge profits from it. Not only do they get the TV rights here, they get the TV rights there.
I've been wondering why baseball hasn't done anything.
Not only do they get sponsorship here, they get sponsorship there, but Major League Baseball are the stuck-up debutantes of the sports world. Major League or baseball as a sport
they don't like money.
Has been around longer than football.
Right.
And it was more. You would see people, especially in the early. It kind of stopped in the 50s and it tapered off in the 60s. When men went to a baseball game, they were in suits. They were in the fedoras. And, the ladies were in dresses. It was like a gentleman's game.
Right.
To a point. Not unless you were Ty Cobb, But here's what the spokesman for the MLBPA said. We made international play a part of our recent new labor agreement with the MLBPA. MLB spokesman Michael Tevens said. London specifically was covered for some time during the agreement, among other locations. Now, you do not need a collective bargaining agreement or anything like that to know that baseball would be huge in these countries. Because as we know, the dominant sport in this country, meaning England, Europe, all that, soccer. Soccer's a pretty dominant sport around the world. Now, it's not as big as cricket, but it is a huge sport. I don't know why MLB thinks that, we'll do it in 2000. We'll think about doing it in 2018. They need to jump on it now.
Well, meanwhile, while they're thinking about it, the WWE and the NFL will be raking in the profits. So they want to get off their behinds and do it.
Right. So that'll be interesting. So people are talking about a Cubs repeat. That's going on right now. And I'm not talking... Rodney also says baseball is classier. Yes. Well, unless I bring up the whole Dodgers-Giants debacle in Los Angeles when that Giants fan got the piss kicked out of him. That's not classy. But as a sport, we could debate that. That could be a show all in itself. But, Shawn, do you think the Cubs are going to repeat? First off, do you think they'll even make it to the World Series?
I can break. They should just be basking in the glow of 108 years has been wiped away. They've won a championship. Enjoy your championship. Yes, you're probably gonna have a good year next year. Let's not talk about World Series when it comes to repeating until the middle of the season. You know what I mean? That's all we're gonna be talking about at the beginning of the season. But come on, guys, let's let them play some next year before you guys, before you jinx their next year's season.
Right. So Rodney says baseball is classier overall. Yes.
Overall, yes.
So here's the thing about the Cubs and whatnot. The only team ever that has been back-to-back World Series would be the New York Yankees.
Yes.
My team that I like. I also like the Dodgers. I'm from L.A., but...
Was that when they won the 10 titles? The 4 of them were back-to-back?
That was in the 40s with Yogi Berra and company. So, yes. Yogi Berra has 10 World Series rings under his belt. And so do I think Boston's going to repeat? Absolutely not.
Cubs, you mean?
Yeah, what'd I say? Boston? Yeah. I'm sorry.
We're stuck on Boston tonight.
We're stuck on Boston. I'm sorry, folks. I meant the freaking Cubs.
But again, it sounds like honestly, in different sports, between the baseball and basketball, it's like you figure in the 40s it was Yogi Berra, and in the what was it in the 60s? Was it in the 60s the Red Auerbach?
Yeah,
Red Auerbach won those titles.
Yeah.
So it's like you have 10 there. That's Boston. That's New York.
Oh, speaking of Boston, there's a lot of Irish community in Boston.
Yes. And
the Celtics, green and white. And for those of you watching, you can see that I am drinking a Mickey's beer, and it is a Irish. It's a malt liquor, but actually it's Mickey's. And anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there. Another sad news. I'll say this name. The only reason why I'm talking about it is because of the way it happened. Former MLB pitcher John Barfield, 52 years old. He played 3 seasons with the Rangers back in the 80s. He was fatally shot on Christmas Eve after an altercation with an acquaintance. And this was in downtown Little Rock, Arkansas, where a lot of the inbreds were that night, I guess, because they felt the need. William Goodman, 59 years old, of Pine Bluff, Arkansas. He's being held in Pulaski County Jail on preliminary charges of first-degree murder. And, that's sad to hear, especially on Christmas Eve. But you know what? I was in a small town in Columbus, Indiana one time. I mean, when I say small, I mean Cummings Motors is there, and that's the only big business there. And even with that there's only 12,000 people at the time I was there.
Right.
There was this guy that was pissed off because his girlfriend was just talking to another dude, chatting. I was outside talking to the guy, and he pulls out a pistol from his truck and was going to walk in and shoot the dude. I talked him out of going in, and he took it out. He made sure there was bullets in it, and he was in there going to shoot him. I talked him out of it, and I'm thinking, what is the mentality?
People are not thinking before they act whatsoever at all. We try to teach our kids about how think before you act, think before you act. But then we turn around and as adults we get mad and see red and we're going to go for the gun, and we're not keeping those same practices we're trying to teach our kids. We're not upholding those.
Let me say this though. First off, alcohol obviously was involved. But think about this: if that goes on now, because we, the Wild West and everything like that, how do you think it was back then? Oh, people were just popping caps in each other, freaking left and right.
They were at the bar, and then probably some guy says, "Ha ha, bang!" and probably shot him right there at the bar, and then put him outside.
Yeah.
Someone asked, "What do we think about?" And I know we started MLB tonight. They asked, "What do we think about the Patriots and the Cowboys?"
All right. Well, before you answer that, we will get to the Patriots and Cowboys in about 15 minutes. Okay. So the last thing that we got on Major League Baseball is we're going good. We're at 15 minutes right now. We're about finished with the baseball, going into NBA. But here's another Boston information for all you Hispanic listeners. Red Sox are interested in the Twins free agent Trevor Plouffe. Now, they're going to use him. SM Cornerman, welcome to the show with a name like that. We're getting ready to talk some MMA, brother, and we're going to freaking go off on the UFC. But
I've been talking about that for a long time.
The Red Sox are looking at Trevor Plouffe as the utility player. So basically they're going to use him also in hopes of insurance for Pablo Sandoval. So Plouffe plays third base. Also has some experience.
Insurance for Pablo?
Insurance, yeah.
In case he gets too fat.
Jacks around. So he also has played outfield and whatnot. But here's the thing. Plouffe is 30 years old. That's still young. People say, 35 you should retire. Screw that. I'll keep pointing out the fact Gordie Howe came out of retirement at 52 years old and played for the Whalers the whole freaking season. So here's the thing. Now, Plouffe last season was limited to 84 games. That's a little bit more than half the season. So he had a lot of injuries, but his stats were 260, 303, and 420 on the slash line. Career is a 247 hitter. Not bad, 247. Not bad at all, but he has an average of 17 homers over the past 5 seasons. 17's not impressive. Not impressive. If he was more like 30, that's a little bit more impressive. But the Twins was paying him $7.25 million last year. And the Twins...
For 17 home runs?
The Twins were, in my mind, the suckiest team in freaking all of baseball last year.
Flushed that money down.
But here's the deal. The Red Sox are interested in him, but they say, we don't want to pay, $7.2
no,
million.
we're going to pay you like 2.2.
Something like that.
Yeah. In that neighborhood.
Add a little 100, maybe 100.
Maybe 7.2 over the whole contract.
Add another $100,000 in a latte. And
I'm saying 2.2 next year, or maybe over 3 years, 7.2 million.
Well, you know what? Depends on how he performs. Because here's what happens: Boston, and I don't like the Boston Red Sox because I'm a Yankees fan.
Right.
But I respect them; they're a good team.
Right.
But I also don't like him because I'm not supposed to like him.
No.
But I absolutely loved Big Papi. He was a freaking class act. I met the guy. I met the guy a couple times, and he's freaking awesome.
He was like a guy you meet behind him.
You know what we talked about?
Jackhole.
You know what we talked about?
What?
We didn't talk about sports. You know what we talked about? We talked about paella, and we talked about freaking food. And
that's cool when you can get somebody to talk about something outside of their genre.
Yeah. Ayad King, welcome to the show, brother. So the Red Sox might pick him up. They might not, but I think he's going to be a good addition because when you go to a team like the Boston Red Sox or the Yankees or the Dodgers or the Giants, teams like that, it elevates your play. Nick Card, welcome to the show. It elevates your play.
Right.
So for those of you that are just joining us, you're listening to Sports Insider. We are live on Orange Radio Global, Boston, Massachusetts. We are out to the masses, and
I love all our platforms, but I'm getting some serious mad love today. While I've been sitting here, I've been watching my people over here on live.me, and look at them, they're going crazy over here.
Yes, they are. They are. And we would like to know where everyone is listening
Yeah,
from.
where are you guys listening to from?
Last night we had Kuwait, Afghanistan, Russia.
Yeah.
So let us know where you're watching from. So let's move on to NBA.
Yes.
So the power couple of the NBA, by far, if they would have gotten married, now they've been with each other for a butt ton of time.
Yeah.
And so we're talking Jeannie Buss and we're talking Phil Jackson. Where I think this all went south, well, first off, when Phil Jackson, they called it quits. Their engagement is broken off. They announced it over Twitter.
I don't like that.
Over Twitter, they announced it. Now, it's kind of funny. I would love to ask one of them, did you guys talk to each other over Twitter? And be like, hey, babe, we're done over Twitter.
That is really unclassy.
Well, when Phil Jackson took the job in New York, that was the beginning of the end of their relationship. Because here's the thing. I think it was back in 2011. So, yeah, we got some freaking Tupac rolling in here. He's raising
West Coast, baby.
He's raising from the dead.
West Coast.
So Rodney Ingerson says, my car driving Rockland. So are you? Oh, Rodney Ingerson is listening to us in his car in Rockland, California. So when I think it was 2011, when the Jerry Buss was died, and they were looking for another coach. And Phil Jackson was going to come out of retirement. Was it 2011?
I believe.
I think it was 2011 when he was coming. Welcome, Boy 5900. First time on Periscope. So, hey, folks, ask us any questions throughout the show, and we're going to answer them. Plain and simple. We love the interaction, especially on Periscope. So, they did not...
Columbus, Ohio.
They did not go with Phil Jackson, the guy that won championships with them, multiple championships with them. You know who they went with? Freaking D'Antoni.
Yeah. No.
D'Antoni was a failure in freaking Phoenix. He does not, and he's admitted he doesn't believe in defense. He's a soft defensive coach. And so they've been engaged for 4 years. So if you have been engaged for 4 years and you're not married yet, that kind of tells me something right there. I don't want to hear that I'm busy, it's not the right time, it's not this and that. Because here's the thing. Phil Jackson, on his off time in basketball, he spent time in Montana with his grandkids.
Right.
He didn't even go chill back out in freaking L.A. So Draymond Green, Warriors, he's had several technical fouls this year. And for some stupid stuff, really. If you think about it, man.
Technical isn't even for a good reason.
Stupid stuff. Sometimes they give a technical because you don't walk back to the bench fast enough.
Columbus, Ohio here.
Hey, Columbus, Ohio. Welcome. So here's what Draymond Green, and I'm going to the notes here because I want to quote him. Yes. And everybody that watches the show, I do not like to misquote people. So here's what Draymond Green said. He goes, I don't know what else I can watch. I don't really talk to them, referring to the referees, much anymore. So no, I don't know what else to watch at this point. Just continue to be me. If I get a text, so be it. Continue to be me. So, again, some of these fouls and technical fouls are so silly. So here's what Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Warriors, said. And I quote, you've got to let him be him. If something happens from time to time, you live with it. So that's, I think you need to let the guys play. If they're not doing anything that's egregious or disrespectful to another player, another team, or another team's coach, or to the refs. I've played basketball before. I didn't make a good basketball player because I was very physical. I was a football player, hockey player, stuff like that. I love to hit people. And I did that a lot. I mean, I remember on the court at the University of Oklahoma, man, when it was a scrimmage, I got in a fight right in the middle of the court, got kicked out, and because the guy, basically just pissed me off.
Right.
And that's what I did. And so I just wasn't good at basketball. And so I remember my first shot. I stole the ball. I went up for a layup. I freaking missed the layup, dude. I missed
Those
it.
are always you feel like an idiot when you go.
I did.
You go to lay up the ball, it's like bounces and doesn't even hit the top.
I freaking missed a layup. So now when I'm like, how can you miss a freaking layup? I think back to that time, and that was the very first shot I ever took. So speaking of the Knicks, we got Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose is on the Knicks, and he thinks that they can make the playoffs this year. So here,
New York teams they make the playoffs.
Here's a quote from Derrick Rose. Rose says, "Once we get into the playoffs, we're going to be a hell of a team to go against. You don't know what to expect from us in the playoffs. Our goal is to get there first."
Playoffs.
Exactly.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. And I think of Iverson practice.
We're
talking about practice.
Who was that? Is it the playoffs?
As the coach of the Colts.
Yeah, I was. Oh
Yeah.
my God. Yeah, that's crazy.
And then remember the coach, African American coach for the
Cardinals. Dennis Green.
Yeah, when he was like, they were not who they thought they were.
Yeah, they were who we thought they were.
I was like, what the crap does that mean, man? I'm smoking another joint. But Phil Jackson and the Knicks, the great Phil Jackson. Now, granted, he's not coaching them. He's the kind of the head honcho cat there. Over the three consecutive years.
Right.
So, in the past 2 years, combining their losses, they've lost 115 games. In 2 years. That's a lot of games to freaking lose.
It's like 50-something games a year.
So, it is absolutely crazy, ludicrous. Last thing that we're going to talk about, NBA. We are right on time, folks. We're 26 minutes in.
They're dying over here. Patriots, Cowboys, Seahawks.
We will. I swear to God, man. Just give me 2 seconds. You're listening to Sports Insider on Arms Radio Global out of Boston, Massachusetts. Last thing, it's about the Celtics. So the Celtics are kind of hot right now.
Yes.
And they've won 6 of their last 7 games. So they're visiting Cleveland for a national TV game tomorrow night.
The schedule. I mean the records. See where they're at here.
So the Celtics, though, I have to say, growing up, first off, I'm from LA, so I love the Lakers, and my dad loved Larry Bird, and he met Larry Bird, and he really liked him.
Yeah, knock his hustle. He was a player.
And so he likes the Boston Celtics. So the Cleveland Cavaliers are 23-7. Celtics are sitting comfortably at 3-19-13. They're over 500. That's all that counts.
That's all that matters.
So Isaiah Thomas, which you've seen, I got a signed basketball from him, and
the Knicks are over 500. Wow.
Yeah,
just barely.
Barely. So Isaiah Thomas used to play here in Sacramento. Rodney Ingerson says Jim Mora is Jim Mora.
Jim Mora, yes. I was thinking about he has a son too.
Yeah.
The coach.
So the Celtics, Isaiah Thomas was asked where the Celtics are compared to the Cavs. First off, to me, who freaking cares? Because when I played sports, I'm like, who freaking cares? We're here. The season's here. And when we are a few games towards the end, then you could talk to me about that. But it's like,
there's 6 games or 5 games that separates them. Not very much.
It is nothing. Okay, let's just talk 1 second. I mean, like 10 seconds with the freaking A's. Remember that time they threw off like 20-plus games in a row? Bam, 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 bam.
It's 27. But
don't freaking, who cares? So here's what Isaiah Thomas says, and I quote, "We don't really care about what they're doing, and I know they don't care about what we're doing. We're just trying to focus on us and getting better each and every day." That part's kind of canned and kind of
I hate those.
lame.
You tell what it's
and we've done the past 7 games with a healthy squad. We're a pretty good team. Welcome to the show, Jeffrey M. Stowe. Man.
Oh, Jeffrey Stowe, where you been?
That rhymed, man. I'm a poet and didn't know it. Now, all of you people that have been clamoring, welcome Corey to the show about the Dallas Cowboys and the Patriots and all that
Seahawks.
stuff.
I don't know why Seahawks.
We're getting into our NFL, man. But I wanted to go with baseball and NBA because
we get stuck on the NFL sometimes. We don't get anywhere
over
else.
the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks that we've been NFL,
and we don't get to anything else.
Yeah, we can take a little breather. Take a deep breath. Let me take a little sip of my Mickey's. Mm-hmm.
Hey, your people are sleeping here because my people are in love with me over here.
That's all right, man. So, here we go. Coughlin, as we talked about yesterday, today, earlier in the afternoon, morning actually, he interviewed with the Jaguars.
Wow, bro, I don't see how they even interviewed him. They should have said you got the job. You were here before.
You know what?
Back when Jimmy Smith's and then
it's probably a formality.
Pretty much.
Because they say, well, he's Tom freaking Coughlin.
They're probably going to interview a couple coaches.
Probably they just wanted to chill with him, you know? Mm-hmm. Have a couple beers.
He is pretty old now. He was old before.
Yeah, he's about...
He was like 60s, early 70s.
He's about, what, 112 right now?
His face looks that way.
So, now, Coughlin was the first coach in Jaguars history. Okay? He guided the franchise to a 68-60 record and a pair of AFC Championship game appearances. Okay, 1995 to 2002. So, that's it on that aspect. I just threw that in there because I thought it was interesting. Now, we're going to talk just a little brief second. We're getting to the Patriots and Cowboys. But I'm segueing everything. So Bills bench QB Tyrod Taylor. So not only did they get rid of the coaches, but they're like, yeah, you know what? You're not going to play the last game. So Buffalo Bills interim coach Anthony Lynn said today, ain't my decision. So here's the thing. Nothing is your decision. You are a piece there. The front office is the puppet master, and you're the puppet. You're just there for looks.
Tyrod is hurt?
No, they just said you suck.
Yeah, right. Get out of here. Go sit down.
So back up E.J. Manuel.
He's not any better.
Well, QB against the Jets. Now we're getting into some more, Patriots, Boston stuff. Carr, who was the front runner for MVP, and then was second runner-up to Tom Brady.
Right.
Now Carr falls all the way to 5th. Matt Ryan jumps up to 2. And Rodgers goes to number 3. Now, here's the thing, though.
Is Tom Brady playing?
No, well,
I don't think he is.
We're going to talk about that. Here's the thing. Tom Brady, as it stands right now, he's got 3,278 yards. He's got 25 TDs, 2 interceptions, and his QBR is 81.9. I don't really care about QBR ratings right now. Don't care. Here's the thing about Matt Ryan and Aaron Rodgers that people are going to argue that have a better stat, if you will, for the MVP. Matt Ryan has 4,613 yards. That is over 1,000 more than freaking Brady.
Yeah.
He's got 34 TDs. That is 9 more than Brady. He's got 7 interceptions. That's 5 more than Brady. That's not good. You don't want to be good on that.
I have to ask you. We had this question before. Remember we said that Brady plays 4 less games?
Yes.
If you added those 4 games, would he catch Matt Ryan? No.
No, maybe.
Not on a touchdown.
No. I think in the touchdown. So probably
not in the yardage. He'd be about 500 yards behind.
Here's Aaron Rodgers, though. Aaron Rodgers is 4,128 yards.
He came on in the middle of the season, too.
36 TDs.
He's on fire lately, yes.
Okay? 7 interceptions. So he's got more TDs out of all of them.
Right.
The yards, though, Matt Ryan has it.
And he's going to be on the gas this week. I think he's going to try to hit 5,000 yards.
Do you know what, though? Even if Matt Ryan does that, they're not going to pick him MVP over Brady. If anyone wins the MVP other than Brady, to me, it's going to be Aaron Rodgers. Real quick, the Bucs running back Doug Martin has violated the league's policy on drugs, so immediately serving a 4-game suspension.
Will these people wake up? Don't they know to go to their doctors if it's something that's a new product? If they're not using steroids, it's just...
Well, drugs, to me, it's either the freaking powder or it's the freaking weed, man. Here's what he said.
Why would you do?
I was notified last week of a 4-game suspension for violating the league's drug policy. My initial instinct was to appeal the suspension. No, you don't get to appeal it. Shut your freaking pie hole, serve your sentence, and freaking move on. Because when you appeal it, you drag it out. It's a pain in everyone's arse, and it doesn't do anyone any good.
No.
Here's some more talk. After this, we're getting into the Patriots again. But questions everyone's asking, and then they're teasing people with this. Will Romo play or be active, not play necessarily, be active Sunday against the Philadelphia? So that's the question. So Jones said, meaning Jerry Jones, the owner, after the Lions game, Jones says he doesn't believe getting Romo a handful of snaps or more will be worth the risk, especially if the Cowboys change out parts for their offensive during the game. If that's the case, then why dress Romo at all? That's my question. The only reason why that's even a topic right now, because Jerry Jones is leaking stuff out, and he likes to be relevant. He's a very, very, very narcissistic freaking person. Jeffrey Stowe said, practice Romo. He needs to get the rust off. Okay, first off, no, because he's not going to play, and if he does, it's a stupid move. Second off, there's going to be a lot more rust. Practice is nothing compared to a real game.
I'm going to tell you, if he knows as well as everybody else knows, if he plays Romo, Romo will get hurt and have no trade value, have nothing. He'll get hurt and be out all next year.
All right, so here is the injury report for the New England Patriots. Jeffrey Stowe also says, let Dak start to the first rookie to do all 16 games, then put in Romo. Jeffrey, I know you live in California, and I know we just made weed legal. And I don't know if you smoked any before the show or if you did an edible. I don't know. But if you're a proponent for playing Romo, there's something wrong with you, brother. Because, no, that shouldn't happen. That's no bueno. That should not happen at all. So here's the Patriots injury report. You got wide receiver Danny Amendola, ankle. Tom Brady, thigh. Tom Brady did not practice today. Running back Deion Lewis, illness. He's got the sniffles probably. I am joking. Wide receiver Malcolm Mitchell didn't practice. So that's the injury report on that. Tight end Martellus Bennett, ankle shoulder. Linebacker Dante Hightower, knee. Cornerback Cyrus Jones, knee. Wide receiver Matthew Slater, foot. So
sounds like they're going to arrest all these people.
Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to make a bet this weekend on the last game of the season, basically, here's what you need to do. You need to definitely take first off, you got the Patriots over the Dolphins. New England's favored by 9.5. That right there with all the injuries mentioned. Now, Tom Brady, he was injured in the last game. He was hurt in the last game. He still played. Still won. Now, that's a question. I don't know.
If he doesn't play, they're not beating him by 9 anything. They may not win.
Okay, Jeffrey Stowe says, no stems, no seeds that you don't need. Acapulco Gold is bad as well. Cheech and Chong. Okay, that's funny. Get some Pineapple Express. That'll do you some. So in his absence, you have in Tom Brady's absence, you have Jimmy Garoppolo and Jacoby Brissett are the lone quarterbacks in practice.
Right.
Okay, now, ladies and gentlemen, the question that you asked the Patriots and Cowboys. What was their question?
Oh, they just wanted to talk about football. Mr. Patriots, Cowboys.
Okay, well, you know what? It's either going to be Patriots and Cowboys, and I was talking to Mr. Green Bay last night, or it's going to be Patriots and Green Bay. I'm telling you, and all you Boston fans listening out there, the Patriots will be in the Super Bowl, so you can count on that. Even if they rest everybody and play their third string might actually even freaking...
Keep in mind, they'll be in the Super Bowl as long as, one, they don't have to play Kansas City, because I think Kansas City's the one team that can beat them. And don't count the Raiders out. I'm very sad that you're a Raiders fan. You just totally discounted them.
I am discounting them, and I'll discount them to their
You're going to
face.
eat a lot of crow on this one.
No, I'm not.
Way more crow than I ate on the Detroit game.
No. Mm-mm. The Raiders are going to fall out. So, back still with the Patriots. Last month, Bill Belichick said that Josh McDaniels and Matt Patricia should absolutely be on any head coaching list. Now, there is rumors.
Josh McDaniels used to be a head coach.
There's rumors where one of those two might be the head coach of the Bills next year.
Oh, lovely.
Jeffrey Stowe says, agreed, Patriots and Cowgirls.
How would you like to be a coach with Bill Belichick and then go to a team that plays them twice a year?
Well, Bill Belichick is the kind of guy, if he says something like this, he's encouraging you to go to the next level. I would, because you know the guy's mindset.
True.
You know the guy's, so we got about 19 minutes, and so real quick, I'm actually going to go over these next two tomorrow. So we're done with NFL. We're going to spend the rest of the time on MMA. MMA has taken off over the years. We know that. Now, boxing, their purses are multiple millions of dollars. Multiple millions of dollars. So, and the pay-per-view for UFC is
so much money.
They do.
The pay-per-view, just alone from the arena tickets and all that, the pay-per-view is just astronomical numbers.
Yes. So, what it is why do a lot of UFC fighters get underpaid? That's my question. Now, if you ask Dana White, he says, well, whatever he pays his fighters smokes what you see in boxing. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't think so. It may be.
No, I don't either.
I don't think so either.
Now I know. I know exactly.
Numbers right here.
I know exactly how much these guys get paid, because when they get paid, I've been around many times when they've received an envelope with the paycheck or cash or whatever. I've been on all levels of MMA fighting, so I know exactly what they get paid. Now I know we're jumping back in the 50s. But, and I'm talking boxing here. In the 50s in boxing, whether you were a top fighter or not, you would fight as many times as 14 times a year.
Right.
Sometimes, if not more. So, but now, the average UFC fighter fights between 4 and 7 times a year. Like half of what they did back in the day. So that's a little bit different on that. So like UFC card 157. So we're stepping back a little bit in UFC fights.
50 UFCs.
Here's the payout, and I quote: Ronda Rousey on UFC 157. I wish we had forget that. So $90,000 is what she got. That was her payout for, and that is including a $45,000 win bonus.
Wow.
Okay. So
she would have lost. She'd only have paid $45,000.
No, not necessarily. No. That was her for winning. No. They have a show bonus, but we're getting into that. Another fighter received $12,000. Lyoto Machida won $200,000. No win bonus. 0 win bonus. Okay? Sacramento Zone Uriah Faber got $100,000, but that included a $50,000 win bonus. And it goes down from there. Court McGee, $40,000, but that includes a $20,000 win bonus. Josh Neer, $16,000. Robbie Lawler, $105,000. Including a $10,000 win bonus.
Wow.
So, what do these guys do with the $100,000? Well, they spin it and blow it, and then they're broke. Jeffrey Stowe says, don't the MMA fighters get a percentage of the pay-per-view? Okay.
That's been talked about and vetoed down many times.
No. And I'm going to break that down for you in a future show, maybe even Friday's show, where we talk about how much that they made on the last pay-per-view and whatnot. So no. So here's the undercard. The undercard for 157 was, now 4 fighters received $8,000 for a defeat. So the total payout, the entire payout for the entire purse, Phillips Martial Arts, welcome to the show. He says no. I don't know. Oh, okay. He's answering the question. Yeah. So
the total payout for the undercard was $78,000.
No. The total payout for the entire freaking UFC 157 for everybody was $1,173,000. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, so there's bonus money and all that kind of. There's like knockout of the night, fight of the night.
You know darn well the pay-per-view probably made like $40 million.
No. Much more than that. Much more than that. You think of. Now let's just do the math real quick. I don't have a calculator in front of me. So around the world. Now, is it safe to say that around the world that 50 million people watch UFC 157 around the entire globe?
Times 60.
No, is that yes or no?
Yeah, times $60.
Okay, we'll just say times $60. So 50 times 60 is 300 million freaking
and they're
dollars.
Paying out that little bit of money?
Yes.
Come on, where's all the rest of the money going then?
Oh, I don't know. Dana White's freaking pocket and everybody else that has a little piece of the pie in their freaking pocket. That's where it's freaking going.
Sounds like it's turned into a money grab.
All right, so now we're going to go to boxing now. So you contrast that MMA with boxing. So here's the Manny Pacquiao versus Timothy Bradley fight.
Oh my God.
Manny Pacquiao, Timothy Bradley. Here's the thing. 2012, 4 years ago, Manny Pacquiao was paid $26 million. Bradley netted $5 million.
You would say even at a 48% tax rate, say there was $14 million after taxes, he still made 14 times what the UFC's total card was.
About 13.6, but yeah. Jeffrey Stowe says, that is insanely poor pay for a dangerous sport. What the F? In the days of Frazier and Ali, they made insanely good money. You're absolutely freaking right. That's what I'm talking about. Now, let me tell you this. I'm going to give you just a little bit of taste of some of the stuff that we're going to keep talking about. We're going to talk about Friday. Now, I know, now these are professional fights, but they're not UFC or Bellator or anything like that. I'm talking like, I don't want to bust out the company, but they're well known. Now, a lot of these fighters will get $250 if they lose.
Oh, good Lord.
They might get $500 if they win. If they get the knockout of the night, they'll get an extra $1,000. So you come to a fight, you fight a good fight, and you might walk away with $500 to $1,000. While the promoter on that, even though there's a small venue of the one that we went to, was about 3,000 people.
Yeah,
the one around here.
I know what you're talking about.
And you know that they're making a ton of money.
Is that the fight our friend was the promoter?
Our
friend who just retired?
One of them, but we won't mention anything. So Jeffrey Stowe says $250 to $500 beer money. Exactly, and here's the thing. There was a fighter that I know that had to travel to Los Angeles. They would not pay for his gas or his hotel, his gas until he got there. He was only going to make $300.
$300.
Now, once he got there and he showed receipts, they would give him gas money, but he had to still buy his own food and everything. So basically, when he goes and he comes back,
nothing's guaranteed. You're taking a risk. Trying to make your career happen, you're taking a major risk.
Yeah, so we got about 9 more minutes left, and so here's the rest of this. So the rest of the fighters on the televised portion of the Pacquiao fight, Jorge however you say the last name, got $300,000. Jesus Rojas got $25,000. Mike Jones, $105,000. Randall Bailey, $100,000. Guillermo Rigondeaux, $103,000, and Tion Kennedy, $70,000. These are the undercards of the boxing matches. Go ahead. Boxing matches that are getting tons more money than these UFC fighters.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. There are a lot of things that now if you go on sponsorship money and whatnot, you can get some of that. But here's the thing. There was a fighter I know that before the fight didn't even have shorts for the fight. And so he was, they were talking about that. So when you're going up through the ranks, you are being exploited as an MMA fighter. And when I see a guy's face look like hamburger meat, and the guy I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He got beat, and then here's the thing. Shawn, I'm not lying. You were standing right there. The guy gets his paycheck, which was cash. He opens it up. It was supposed to be... No, it was a check. It was a check because then he went to the cage and cashed it because we were at a casino. So he was supposed to get $250. They only wrote the check for $125.
I'm like...
And that has happened more than once.
Yeah.
That has happened more than once.
With this particular company, the gentleman who runs this company, there's been a lot of call out, and different people have called this person out to say that he's shorted some people talking to, unless you hold him up right there and make him pay out right there, and don't let him run back to the hotel and count his money up. He sometimes just steals people.
And when a lot of times when they do this, it's cash, and there's a lot of cash flow going on. There's a lot of pocket going in your pocket,
right?
Going on. So let's we got about 8 minutes. We're going off air here in just a few. So let's just go over. You were talking earlier about, and we'll talk more of it as the weekend comes. We've covered a lot of sports, ladies and gentlemen. But right now in college football, and I know there's still college football fans out there. You've got Indiana playing number 19 Utah. So it's in the second quarter. Utah is winning 17-7. They're called the Utah Utes. What the crap is a Ute? That sounds like a wart,
Sounds like a rash.
Phillips Martial Arts says, the big difference is these guys keep fighting, boxing, after those payday MMA guys retire after $1 to $3 million payday. Boxing has a lifelong fighters. Most MMA superstars retire after their first real payday. Okay. Do you think one of those fighters, because he's been in the news lately talking about some of this stuff, do you think one of those fighters, a.k.a. Chuck Liddell, the Iceman?
Chuck Liddell definitely left.
I think
soon.
A lot soon.
He was tired of the bullcrap. He was tired.
Yeah,
he was tired of Dana White.
Let's talk about Nate Diaz and how he basically told Dana White over Twitter, "Yo, release me, brother. I want to go fight somewhere where I'm going to get paid." He said that. Now back to college football. We've got Texas A&M playing Kansas State. It's tied 7-7 in the first. I'm going for A&M on that one. You got West Virginia. I don't like West Virginia because they beat OU last year. So Miami wins that one 31-14. You got Northwestern beating number 23 Pittsburgh 31-24. It's always interesting to see a non-ranked team with barely over 500 record beat a ranked team. And so yeah, that's now okay. What are your out of the Ohio State Clemson and the Washington Alabama game? What is your the game that you want to watch the most? If you had to pick a game, which one would it be?
Well, as far as excitement-wise, I think that I want to see Clemson, Ohio State, only because I think Clemson has a legitimate shot to beat Ohio State. I think Alabama is going to pummel Washington.
I do not, and I repeat, I do not want to see a repeat of last year's national championship. I don't, because here's what's going to happen. Number one, Clemson, yes, they did well this year, but this time Alabama is going to go off on them, and they're going to roll Tide all over their face, and freaking Nick Saban and company is going to walk home again with another freaking national championship. Plain and simple.
Well, that's going to happen anyway, no matter who wins.
Yeah.
I don't think Ohio State can beat Alabama. This is not 3 years ago when Ezekiel Elliott was playing.
I'm going to look at the point spread. Depending on what the point spread is, I might take Ohio State in the points. I'm dead serious. So one more on...
Are we going to take a trip to Tahoe Friday?
We have a show to do Friday.
Friday morning.
Oh, Friday morning. Shawn game.
A friend of mine got a new car.
Yeah.
I think we need to try this car out.
All
see
right.
how it rides. Because I've seen how fast you can get to Tahoe and get back in the Raggedy.
Yeah.
The Raggedy alternator.
The Ragmobile.
They're getting held on by stretcher cords, holding on the alternator.
Hey, you know what?
But I'll give it props. He got there and back.
They might Okify it. When I'm talking about Okify, I'm talking about Okies. When I went to school at OU, I saw some interesting stuff of what people could do with a wire hanger and duct tape, man.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
I think if we run up there and we make a nice little parlay, I think,
Hey, yes.
Pull it out here on a boom.
Hey, one more time, ladies and gentlemen. You are listening to Sports Insider on Armed Radio Global. We are on Armed Radio Global every Wednesday and Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. And you can also go to our website, sportsinsideronline.com, and follow us on social media. And you could check out, I don't know, you could check out all of our archive shows. And also you can go on Armed Radio Global, on Spreaker and whatnot, download their app, because we're not the only show on there.
No.
They've got a butt ton of shows, and it's not all sports. You got music. You've got all kinds of stuff that they talk about. Real quick, tonight's game. You got the Sacramento Queens playing the Trailblazers, but they're in Portland. Portland's favored by not even a bucket, a point and a half. Do you think the Queens, 14-7, could beat the Trailblazers, 13-20? But here's the thing: the Queens are 7-11 away, and the Trailblazers are 8-7 at home.
Yeah, possibility. The Kings are trying to make 500. I think. Trying hard.
Who do you got?
I got the Kings, 105.99.
Okay, you've got the Red Hot Raptors against the pretty decent hot Warriors. Who do you got? Golden State by 9 points at home in Oracle Arena.
112-101 Golden State.
I'll go 113-98 Warriors.
We're about the same on that.
Only if
Oh, we got someone from the gallery says, only if Cousins gets his little red sucker so he doesn't throw a fit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are just about out of time, and we want to thank everybody for listening to the show. We want to thank Arm Radio Global for having us on every Wednesday and Friday. We appreciate everybody who watches us live and all of the questions. Again, download the TuneIn app and download and search for Armed Radio Global. We are on every Wednesday and Friday, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern. Folks, we will see you tomorrow night here.
We appreciate all of you.
Yeah, for all you people listening in Boston, we will see you Friday night, 9 o'clock your time. Peace out.
We don't know where we're going to be at when we do the show live, but we're going to be somewhere.
All right. Peace out. We love you.